this video, you'll find a series of yoga positions to help with increasing flexibility of the hips and the low back. To start off, we can begin by focusing on the breath. If you're comfortable, you can, like in a cross-legged position without a cushion, you can simply sit in a classic Indian style. Another alternative is to use some sort of cushion underneath the hips and sitting in the same position, or even trying a modification position like this one, or some people will use more advanced ones with half lotus or full lotus. We're not going into any of that today, so I'm just going to start very simply. And just know that if your back's uncomfortable, try putting a cushion right underneath your pelvis. Start by closing the eyes and turning inward, and feeling the breath as it moves in and out. I won't take the full time now for this video, but you can rest in this awareness of the breath for 5, 10, 15 minutes. And when you're ready, when you feel focused and clear, you can begin by moving one leg into the thigh into internal rotation. We have the opposite thigh in external rotation. And then continue following the breath in this position with the intention of bringing this right sit bone closer to the ground. You can use an arm on the side opposite of the internally rotated leg to help. By pushing down into the ground with that arm, you can direct a force to deepen the stretch on that side. And of course, as always, be aware of the breath during this whole process and aware of the way in which you engage the stretch. It should feel like you're attempting to push a big boat off of a dock, where you gradually engage the restrictive barrier and then patiently sit up against it, looking to relax your engagement of the barrier on the inhale and deepen the engagement on the exhale, or take more ground with the stretch on the exhale. So after a few cycles of breathing, maybe up to 7 on one side, then switch to the other and do the same thing. Patiently move this hip towards the ground. You'll feel a stretch kind of up inside here as you do it. And again, 5 to 7 breaths. You can use the Ujjayi breath throughout this practice, the one where it's like you are going but with your mouth closed. So it's also referred to as the Darth Vader breath. It sounds a lot like Darth Vader. So during any asana practice, you can use that sort of breath. And this can be woven into a sequence of other asanas, or this series can be done on its own. Then bring the legs around in front of you, making the spine nice and straight and long. Inhale the arms up, keeping the shoulders back and down, not bringing the shoulders up to the ear, but keeping the shoulders down. And now keeping the back straight as long as possible. Hinge from the pelvis all the way down to wherever your hands can go. It may be behind the knees, it may be at the calves, it may be at the ankles, it may be at the feet, but over time work towards bringing them onto over the top of the feet. And eventually let the head fall forward. This will deepen the stretch and let go of any muscular activity of holding the head up. If you do this one in the morning, sometimes it can be unbearable. It's usually a little bit more tolerable at nighttime. So in the morning you may have to ease into your full stretch slowly. And hold hold this for 5 to 7 breaths. And then when you're ready, inhaling back up to center. For the purpose of this video, I'm not going to hold everything for the full breath count. I just want to demonstrate the asanas. Then draw one leg in so that the sole of the foot is on the thigh. And then again, inhale up, shoulders back and down, and exhale forward, hinging from the pelvis on the femurs, and then moving it through to the lumbar spine and the thoracic spine, letting the whole spine curve. Ideally, you get to the point where your forehead eventually touches your knee. But again, don't rush this, don't strain with it. It's the same principle I mentioned before. As you want to engage the barrier wherever it is, gently, firmly, persistently, like you're pushing a boat off of a dock. Deepen the stretch on the exhale, hold it on the inhale. After 5 to 7 breaths, come back up. Bring the elbow that's on the same side as the leg that's down into the side of the thigh. Use that leverage to rotate away from that leg. Inhale, bring this arm up, and then exhale, use the arm on the thigh to help pull you into the side bending. And in this case, it'd be side bending to the left. You can take the head and look up at the hand, or you can just let it follow the natural curve of the spine. You don't want to just let this one flop. Your head just flop, but let it follow the natural arc of the spine, or look up to the hand. And again, 5 to 7 breaths here. And then come back up to neutral. Bring one foot on the other side of the knee. That's the knee that's folded. This one can be done with the legs straight if this is too much. So it's done the same way, just with this leg straight. If you're able to do it this way, make sure that the sit bone is down on the ground here. Wrap this arm around the knee, this arm down on the ground. Exhale, turn in this case to the left. You'll feel the stretch really through these external rotators of the hip. And again, hold this for 5 to 7 breaths. And release it. And now you go into the other side. We're going to inhale up, shoulders back and down. Exhale forward, hinging at the pelvis on the femurs, and then the lumbar spine, and then the thoracic spine, carrying it all the way up through the cervical spine. And eventually moving to where the head is actually touching the knee. Here after 5 to 7 breaths. And it's important that the breaths are relaxed, unrushed, natural, deep. Come back up to the upright position. Take the elbow, put it on the inside of the thigh, just above the knee. Use it to rotate your body away from that leg. Inhale this arm up, and then exhale the arm over into a deep side bend. In this case, we're side bending to the right. And then after 5 to 7 breaths, come back up. This foot crosses over there, or if you need to, you can straighten that out as well. If you're able to, then wrap the arm around here, put this hand down, exhale, and in this case, rotate to the right. Come back to neutral, going back into the forward fold, bringing the arms up, spine long and straight, shoulders back and down, and then flex forward, hinging at the pelvis on the femurs, bringing the hands onto the bottom of the feet, and then letting that stretch move all the way up through the spine until you completely relax the head. Coming back up, bringing the arms up and back so they come in at your side. I like to have my fingers pointing outward with this one, You can have your fingers pointing backwards. Some people will even point them forward, but find what's most comfortable for this position. Bend the knees, bring the feet flat, and then lift up, letting the head fall back. This one is a good balance for all of the spinal flexion that we did. This helps to bring the spine back into a neutral balance. For people with neck problems or wrist problems, that one may not be appropriate. Next, bring the soles of the feet together, draw them in towards the body, interlace the fingers, bring them underneath the feet, and then press down with the knees. Working to bring the thighs down closer to the ground over time. Hold this for 5 to 7 breaths. And then when you're done, releasing that, rolling onto your back. On an exhale, letting the knees fall to one side, rotate the spine the other way. Hold this for 5 to 7 breaths. Then inhale, come back up to center. Let the knees fall to the other side. Use the elbow on the side the knees fell to rotate the opposite direction. 5 to 7 breaths, deepening the stretch on the exhales. And then come back up. This next one I don't have quite enough space for to demonstrate on both sides, so I'll just demonstrate this on, well, let me scoot down. You should still be able to see, yeah. If I scoot down. For this one, you bend the knee, inhale it up, exhale it to the side, and hold it with the hand. In the beginning, it's very hard to do this, and you may need to use a strap on the leg. So you would then bend the knee up, lift it up, put a strap over it, and then use that strap to bring it down to the side. But eventually work to where you can hold it with the hand, and again, hold the position for 5 to 7 breaths, and do it on both sides. Come back up to neutral. I'm gonna scoot back up for the camera here, and then let the knees fall out to the side, soles of the feet together, and then rest in this position for a minute or 2 minutes until you really feel yourself relax. If it feels good, you can also put your arms up this way so you have external rotation of the arms. And then after a few minutes of resting here, slowly straighten your legs, not by picking them up, but just by pushing them, where the legs stay completely relaxed, but you just push them down on the mat until as you continue to push them, the soles of the feet start to separate, so just the heels are touching, and then the femurs start to internally rotate, and the heels stop touching, and the legs are back to straight. From there, turn over onto your stomach, and come up onto your elbows, pressing down into the elbows, equal force on each side, don't let the shoulders kind of hunch, keep the shoulders back and down, and then lifting up through the chin, and holding this for 5 to 7 breaths. And then after that, transitioning up onto elbows and knees, and then moving back into child's pose, reaching forward with the arms, and then sitting back so you get a nice stretch through the latissimus dorsi muscles by creating this traction as you sit back and as the mat grips onto your forearms, and let the head rest on the ground. And rest here for as long as you like. And then it's very nice to finish in a shavasana position where you just turn back over, let your arms go out to your side, become aware of your breathing, and slowly relax deeper and deeper. You can set an alarm for 5 or 10 minutes, up up to 15-20 minutes, and just let your whole body relax, letting go of any effort other than the effort it takes to remain aware of the sensations in your body and the sensations throughout the body, and anchored in the sensation of the breathing. Okay, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope it serves you well and adds something to your yoga practice. If you want to see any more videos or more information about me, you can check out my YouTube page. It's under Dr. William Starsiak, or Starsiak Osteopathic Clinic. You can also check out my website at www.drstarsIak.com. That's www.drstarsiak.com. Thank you very much.